Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Help for the Guiltless. My name, of course, is Antoine. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to say, if you like what I do here, there is a link down below to my Patreon. I would love it if you actually take a look and see if there's anything that you like down there. Any support, even $1 a month, is very helpful. As you know, YouTube has been mass demonetizing channels, and I do fear that I'm going to be one of the next ones. So if you like the content that I create, the shows that I have, and you'd like to support the channel, all the links and everything are down below. But the best thing you could do is comment, hit like, and share the video around. It lets YouTube know that people like watching the video. Now, with that out of the way, I haven't seen one of these in a long time. And believe it or not, I didn't stumble across her on my own. Given to me on a silver platter by a new subscriber of mine. And that subscriber is Gabe the Samurai. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a bedroom feminist. Not just a bedroom feminist, but a bedroom feminist who supports Black Lives Matter, who also supports socialism, is fat positive, and, well, I don't want to bury the lead, but has to be one of the most entitled fucking people I've ever come across. Let's let her introduce herself, shall we?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, hello, highly critical. My name is Antoine. I'm the one that's going to be debunking you today. Before we start, I do have a question. Are you going to be pausing like that throughout the entire video? I mean, it could get kind of repetitive and boring.
So, before I get started in my video, I want to give a shout out to the LGBTQ community, since right now when I'm recording this audio, it is officially the first day in Pride Month. So, happy Pride to all my rainbow folk out there, and specifically shout out to all my Black rainbow folk out there. We see you, we hear you, you're valid, and we love you.
Yes, that's all well and good. Happy Pride Month, everyone. Good, now that we got that out of the way. Listen, sister, can you pick it up? It makes it sound like you're trying to get your thoughts in order as you're talking, and since you sound relatively young, I'm assuming your brain is filled with nothing but Taylor Swift and mush. So, just try and pick it up, yeah?
So, I just want to make a video.
Nope. Apparently she's only got one speed, and that's sloth basking in the sunlight. How long is this video? I already feel like it's taken forever, and we haven't gotten that far into it. 17 minutes? Are you kidding me? She talks as if she's got a hive of bees running around in her head, and she can't figure things out.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees!
Alright, I'm letting you all know right now. I'm going to be editing this video down of hers. I'm going to keep it in context for when I talk about her points, but I'm going to be getting through a lot of the bullshit that she's speaking, so we're not here until the next Ice Age.
This is such an epidemic, and especially among liberal and leftist audiences and people.
Today, Junior?
I cannot do this. Give me just a second. I need to figure out how to actually speed this bitch up. Alright, that should do it. Now, let's see how things progress from here.
This is such an epidemic, and especially among liberal and leftist audiences and people.
There, much better. Alright, what is an epidemic amongst leftists and liberals and people
who like to fight on behalf of the Black community, but they tend to focus on one part of the fight and ignore the other half of the fight. So what I mean is that a lot of the times we'll have white allies focus on checking other white people. You know, if you go on their channel, you'll see a lot of rebuttal and takedown videos of white conservatives saying a bunch of bigoted shit. And if you go on their Twitter pages, you'll see a lot of like dunking on really nasty, bigoted tweets from well-known conservatives and bigots, which is a good thing.
So, you think that liberals and leftists, especially white liberals and leftists, need to focus less on dunking on, what did you quote, conservatives and bigots? Listen, critical. You're conflating the two, you understand that, right? You're conflating conservative with bigot. Not all conservatives are bigots, and not all bigots are conservative. You understand how this works? I have met many a leftist on Twitter who are bigots. That's your first problem. The second one is even sped up to 1.5 speed. You're still having trouble getting to your point.
You know, I'm not saying that that's not productive. It is. Like, it is your job as a white person to check the people among you in your community who are actively upholding white supremacy and white supremacist rhetoric.
No, it's not. That's not how being an ally works. That's not how it works at all.
But there is another half of that fight that gets completely overlooked, and that is uplifting black and brown voices. But in this video, I'm going to focus on black voices because I'm black.
You don't say. You know, with the picture of this video being goals, dreams, and melanin. We had no idea you were black.
So, black creatives have such a harder time gaining audiences and being recognized for our work. Like, one, when you look at leftist YouTube, makeup YouTube, DIY YouTube, you can look at farming YouTube, vlogging YouTube, travel YouTube, just any sector of YouTube or any sector of social media, black people tend to have smaller audiences and tend to have a smaller reach. It's much more rare to see like a black influencer or a black person with such a large audience.
That's because you're looking in the wrong place. You know, you said leftist YouTube, where I think it's just the one janitor if he's still doing anything. But you also mentioned do-it-yourself YouTube and beauty YouTube. You know, things like that. You're missing people like Candace Owens, that guy T, two conservative black YouTubers who have pretty large followings. But here, let me educate you, highly critical, since you took on that name and apparently you're not. I used to say this a lot, a simple Google search, and I pulled up quite a few. So let's go over this, and I'll even leave this as a link down below so you can check. First we have KSI. You know, he got into a very heated rivalry with Logan Paul. He's only got 19 million subscribers, but no, he doesn't count. And then there's DJ, or Comedy Shorts Gamer. He only has 9.7 million subscribers. Marquise Brown Lee. Then there's Dang Matt Smith. Let's talk about Glozell Green. She's a singer and a comedian. She has 4.7 million subscribers. Andrea's Choice. She's a beauty influencer. Oh, look at that. Beauty YouTube. You were talking about that. She's got 4.3 million subscribers. Then there's Chris Smooth, who is a gamer. That's gaming YouTube for you. He's got 4.3 million subscribers. Mystic Got Jokes. He's a comedian. He's got 4.2 million. Trey Melvin, another creator, actor, singer, songwriter, designer, poet, activist. He's got 3.3 million subscribers. Then there's D-Storm Power, who's another comedian, 2.7. Oh, let's talk about the Hodge twins, two black conservative comedians. Then there's Jackie Anna, who's another beauty influencer with 2.7 million subscribers. Prince EA, a rapper. Jasmine Brown, another beauty YouTuber with 2.1 million subscribers. It's My Ray Ray, another beauty YouTuber. And the reason I'm pointing these out, mainly, well, because they're on the list, is because one of the things that SJWs, like highly critical, like to point out is that, you know, black women are not the beauty standard. It's only white women that do it. Well, I'm giving you examples. It's My Ray Ray has 1.9 million subscribers. Then there's Alyssa Ashley, another beauty YouTuber. She's an up-and-comer with 1.6 million subscribers. Cindy Black, volunteering her makeup expertise for charity with 746,000 subscribers. Brianna Rutter, who's, well, Let's see what oh, look at that. She's a beauty YouTuber with 564,000 subscribers. Arnel Armon, another beauty influencer on YouTube with 427,000 subscribers. Jarvis Johnson, a vlogger and comedian. So that's that vlogger YouTube you were talking about, 339,000. And Aliyah Maria B, who is also a vlogger, and she's in the UK with 163,000 subscribers. So what I'm actually saying to you, highly critical, is
that is one big pile of shit.
you need to stop looking specifically at people you know in the leftist sphere of YouTube. Because the leftists, believe it or not, are the most racist motherfuckers on YouTube. But you wouldn't know anything about that because it fits your ideology. I would like to be nice to you about this, but your ignorance, which we will find out as this video continues, knows no bounds. Well, let me just keep letting highly critical put her foot in her mouth. I'm sure she enjoys the shoe leather on the bottom of her heel.
You know, it's my video. I'm going to talk about me for a second, and how I like to talk about politics and things like that, and how I've gotten so many comments. I've gotten a handful of comments from different people who have said, you know, like, you are way undersubbed. You know, I can't believe that more people aren't subscribed to your channel. And I really appreciate those comments because on one hand, I agree. Like, I totally agree.
Of course you agree, darling. We all do. We're all YouTubers. We all want that validation that comes from comments like that. And let's be perfectly honest. On some level, we're all narcissistic. I just happen to be less narcissistic than you.
I cover a lot of the same topics that a lot of bigger white leftist political channels cover. But at the same time, because I'm not seeing those numbers, because I'm not seeing that engagement, because I don't have the same type of reach and the same type of platform, it's so discouraging. You know, to be real for a moment, there's been multiple times where I've thought to myself, like, should I keep making this channel? Like, should I keep taking out 15 to 20 hours of my week to come up with topics, to do the research to make sure that I'm factually correct in what I'm trying to say? You know, should I take the time to challenge myself, to find inspiration, to, you know, try to talk about the nuanced things that not very many people like to dive into, just for what I'm getting out of it?
Alright, before we get started delving into that, there's a little bit to unpack. She doesn't like that she's not getting the subscribers she wants, or the views, or the interaction. And she's blaming white, popular, leftist YouTubers. And on top of that, she says she puts a lot of time and effort into her video, 15 to 20 hours a week. And she wants to be factually accurate. Alright, so that's a few things. Let's go over these, shall we, real quickly. It's not their job to promote you. It's your job to promote you. Doesn't matter if they're white, black, Mexican, Chinese, purple. It doesn't matter if you're a leftist, a centrist, a conservative, alt-right, extreme left. It doesn't matter if you're Antifa. It doesn't matter if you're one of the Proud Boys. It is not their job to promote you because you have the same ideological goals. Now, let's talk about this 15 to 20 hours, okay? You put 15 to 20 hours into this unedited phone video. And I know you do phone videos because I've seen the ones where you do it in your closet. You put 15 to 20 hours into a 17-minute video. You can go jump off of a fucking cliff. As for you being factually accurate, you're not. And in this video alone, I've proven that you're not. You said there are no large black YouTubers in any industry in YouTube besides the leftist ones. There's not a lot. Because you're not big. I don't give a fuck what color you are. It took me 30 seconds of research to find a listicle of popular black YouTubers throughout the YouTube sphere. But you're factually accurate. Listen, darling, pumpkin, just because you're not popular does not mean that it's racism. What that honestly means is you have no fucking personality. The ideas in your videos need to stand on their own. Don't just expect people to hand things to you. Work for it, for fuck's sake.
And how I feel about creating content as a black person, it's very common. You know, there are other black creatives in podcasting, in, influencing people with Instagram or TikTok or whatever, however they're creating their own content. They tend to feel the same starting out because as Black people, we are told by our family, by our parents, and by society that we have to work twice as hard to get to the place that a mediocre white person can get to.
One, it has nothing to do with your skin color. It doesn't matter how you feel as a black person doing anything. Just because you're trying to use identity politics to get ahead in life doesn't mean that the real world is going to accept it. And two, being told by your parents and being told by society that you have to work twice as hard to achieve the same as a mediocre white person. Believe it or not, I'm hearing a lot of racism, judging people by their skin color. Anyone who wants to succeed has to work twice as hard as the person next to them, regardless of what race they are. It does not matter the skin color. You're the one who has to promote yourself. Your identity doesn't mean anything. It's your ideas, especially on this platform, that are what are going to cause you to succeed or fail.
It sucks. It kind of sucks seeing that, white people who talk about the same type of stuff that you talk about, they're constantly retweeting and sharing each other's stuff. Their podcasts, they're constantly inviting each other on. But at least I don't really see those same people taking the time out to discover and uplift a Black creative who's talking about the same stuff. I don't ever really see them, highlighting a Black creator in their same field. I don't ever really see a whole lot of white people who use their platforms to uplift and to broadcast the voice of other Black creatives.
Wait, you're saying that large white creators are not paying attention to you and not retweeting you so you can grow, and that is somehow not okay because they're not uplifting Black and brown creators? You mean the subscriber numbers on your little dial do not meet what you think they're supposed to be? You have 400 and something subscribers. That is a concert of people, but that is not enough. Then I guess you need to work on yourself and not expect other people who you have honestly low-key called racist because they won't uplift you. I have heard some self-entitled, self-indulgent bullshit on this platform before, but I swear to whatever gods are listening, you take the fucking cake. You are the epitome of an entitled, lazy millennial.
For these same people to claim that they care about us, but to not ever use their platform to shine their spotlight on us for a moment, that just seems hypocritical. It feels like for some people it's more of a virtue signaling to designate themselves as a good white person rather than actually doing good with their platform.
You do understand they don't have to be able to talk about those things, right? There's no hypocrisy there. I don't think you know what that word means.
And again, it's so hurtful to see when your white peers and fellow progressives will hate share other conservatives and other bigots more than they will share and uplift other Black voices. It's really not that hard to find other progressive leftist Black people who agree with y'all. It's really not. There's no excuses at this point.
Do you even know how social media works? I mean, Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. It's called dog whistling, to use a colloquial term from your side of the spectrum. It's when a progressive, a regressive wants to garner attention for an item in hopes of getting it taken off of whatever platform it's on. Carlos Maza did it, and it backfired spectacularly. I am quite honestly shocked that you have survived this long without retreating into a safe space.
And I'm not sure if a lot of people in this space prefer to just dunk on people. I don't know if they use their politics to, make themselves feel better, or, because They just like to feel different, you know, like they're just, again, one of the good white people.
Have you been on Twitter at all? That's all they use it for. Do they use it just to dunk on people? Twitter is one of the worst platforms in the history of social media because that's all it's used for. Oh, my sweet summer child. You want to know if they're just using their politics to feel better? You know what? They're just using it to express an idea. And, believe it or not, I have no problem with that. You can say whatever the fuck you want. It's just words. But, darling, your racism is showing again. Because they're just using the platform to make themselves feel better and to be one of the good white people. You know, as opposed to just being a good person all around, which is obviously you are not. I wanted to help you with this video, I really did, but from what I've seen, you're nothing but a lost cause.
I'm not sure, like, I don't want to make assumptions or put words in their mouth, but I just see it happening, and it's just weird. It's weird how you would rather hate share, which is broadcasting. When you hate share somebody, you're amplifying the reach that bigot has. Because a lot of the times, like on Twitter, for example, for a lot of these people, a lot of these grifters, these conservatives, these white supremacists, these alt-righters, you know, these centrists that claim to be leftists, I have them blocked. And I follow certain people where 90% of their feed is just retweeting the same blocked accounts, when you could actually be a lot more productive in your political goals by just blocking these people and advocating for something instead of just trying to argue with the other side.
Well, at least it's a little bit more obvious now of why you're still on Twitter. I look forward to being on your block list, which honestly shows more about your frailty and lack of ideological rigor than anything else. But that's fine. You do understand the reason why your ideological allies continue to talk to these people, because most of them do understand that conversation is the only way things will get solved, that there has to be a middle ground reached. And that's why conversation works. You shutting people down and turning them off of your feed does nothing but fill your feed with an echo chamber where your ideals get repeated back to you over and over and over again, which makes you believe that they're true because you start to believe the ad populum fallacy. Well, all of these people I follow are saying the same thing I am. I must be right. There is an entire world out there, highly critical.
Like, do you understand how frustrating it is to see certain people like Dave Rubin or Steven Crowder or Stephen Molyneux, you know, Lauren Southern, you know, Shoe-On Head, Arnold Skeptic. You know, do you know how frustrating it is that people like that get so much financial support from their own side that agrees with them, but as a leftist black creator, like, I don't get that same type of support from my own side? Like, it's really, really frustrating to sit back and to think to myself, like, what are all the different things that I could do, not only for my own platform and my own channel, but what I could do for my community.
To put it quite simply, darling, the left is a hive mind, and if you don't say the right talking points or speak the right ideology, they excommunicate you.
And one of the things I do worry about sometimes among progressives in the United States, maybe it's true here as well, is a certain kind of rigidity where we say, I'm sorry, this is how it's going to be, and then we start sometimes creating what's called a circular firing squad, where you start shooting at your allies because one of them is straying from purity on the issues. And when that happens, typically the overall effort and movement weakens.
Whereas the right, the conservatives, and the centrists included, they uplift individual voices who stand on their own, like Dave Rubin, Steven Crowder, Lauren Southern. Unfortunately, you're on a side that doesn't care about you if you can't provide something for them. And since your identity is that of being a black fat positive woman. You don't have enough oppression points for them to care.
It's even frustrating to see how there are other people, there are other leftists who get, tremendous support that are always being retweeted and supported and shared and liked. And even though they may not be a cis het white person or a straight white person or, a binary white person, like at the end of the day, they're still white. And at the end of the day, they still benefit from white privilege.
You heard it here first, folks. If you are not actively shutting down other white people in order to uplift the beautiful and unique copy and paste brown voices that seem to be flooding Twitter over and over and over again, you are nothing more than a cis hetero white supremacist on the regressive left, and you definitely should sit down and shut up. You need to constantly retweet nothing but colored people, because if you're not doing that, you're racist. You can't retweet white people or any of their ideas. You can only retweet people of color. That's it. Fuck white people.
To be on the political side that claims to want to dismantle white supremacy, but you see other white people literally only focusing on the white people around them in their circle and pretending as if there's no other black people who are doing the same exact work. Like, I don't know what else to say other than it looks like you're virtue signaling. You may have the best intentions in the world, but as far as I'm concerned, like, if you don't do the work to offset your privilege, you're still benefiting from it and you're still part of the problem.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that there are people on the left that don't believe what they say and just want to draw attention to it to show how virtuous they are? I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked and dismayed. Yes, you have virtue signalers in the regressive left. That's something you're going to have to deal with. And you're also telling me that you're surprised that people want to, I don't know, make themselves famous? How are you this ignorant about your own side?
And the main reason why I'm making this video is because, like, the work that I do, the work that other black creatives and other black content creators, the work that we do is just as valuable as the work that other white people do. It's just as valuable, if not more so, because we're bringing a different perspective to the table. We're bringing a unique spin to it. We're doing something different.
The reason you're doing this is because you're self-indulgent and selfish. You are trying to shame people, specifically white people, into sharing your content because you happen to be a fat black feminist. You don't have enough oppression points for them to care about you. Now, just because you have a unique take on something doesn't necessarily mean it's interesting. Just because you have a differing idea doesn't mean it's going to be successful. You are trying to throw a pity party and be positive about it. People see through this passive-aggressive bullshit. You don't care about their ideas, so why should they care about yours? I'm going to give you an opportunity, Highly Critical. When I post this video, I'm going to tag you on Twitter with an invitation to come on and talk. Whatever day, we'll set it up. You can DM me on Twitter. My DMs are always open. We can set it up and I'll bring you on. And you can bring your ideas. I'll bring mine. And in the marketplace of ideas that is YouTube, we'll see which one holds out best. I can guarantee you my chat will be respectful. And I can guarantee you that I will be respectful. But when you pull shit like this, because other creators are not bending the knee to you because you happen to be a different race than they are, you're shaming them for not supporting you. Your ideas are your ideas. They need to stand on their own. You do not need someone else promoting you. And those are my thoughts, folks. I'd love to know yours. But before you do that, that trivia contest is still going. No one's gotten it right yet. There's been a couple people who are close. So I'm going to ask the question one more time. If you'd like to win $25, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and answer this question first. What 5 languages do I speak? Now, if you like what I do here, and you want to support the channel, and I really hope you do, there are links to my Patreon down below, as well as PayPal and Streamlabs. Any donations would really help. There's also a merchandise store down there if you'd like to support some Help for the Guildless merch, and a link to both of my social media accounts. If you really want to help this channel out, all I ask is that you like, subscribe, comment, and share it around. It tells YouTube this is something you really want to see. But with all that being said, this has been Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.